I'm going to say something most men have never heard out loud. The woman you're attracted to is testing you right now, and she has been testing you for the last several weeks without telling you. She's not doing it to trick you. She's not doing it to play games. She's doing it because her biology demands it before she lets you in. Most men fail these tests without ever knowing the tests existed, and then they wonder why women close off, pull back, or vanish completely. Today, I'm going to walk you through the 7 silent tests every woman runs on a man before she trusts him. I'll reveal the 4th one a little later because it's the one most men fail in less than 30 seconds. And that single failure ends more potential relationships than anything else I'm about to teach you. Before we get into it, hit subscribe because every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, I drop these videos decoding exactly how female attraction and trust actually work at a level most teachers never speak about. The button is right below. Do it right now, then come back. Let's begin. Test number 1. She watches how you treat someone who can do nothing for you. This is the first and quietest test. A woman will often observe how you behave around waiters, strangers, service workers, people who cannot elevate your status, people who cannot reward you socially. She will not announce that she's doing this. She will just quietly absorb it. A man who switches his personality based on who he is talking to fails this test instantly. A man who is calm, respectful, and present with everyone, regardless of status, passes it. Why most men miss this? They think women are only watching them in direct one-on-one conversation. They are not. They are watching you when you think nobody is studying you. A woman reads your character based on your behavior toward people who will never serve your interests, and that reading decides how safe she feels around you. Test number 2. She tests your emotional steadiness during a small crisis. She will not manufacture something dramatic. She will watch how you respond when something tiny goes wrong. A plan changes. A restaurant is closed. A small misunderstanding happens. A sudden inconvenience interrupts the flow of your day. She will study you in that moment. Will you get tense, irritated, anxious, sharp? Or will you stay grounded, flexible, calm, light? Why most men fail this? They connect emotional steadiness only to big problems, so they prepare for the wrong moments. Women don't test you in earthquakes. They test you in light breezes. A breeze tells her everything she needs to know about how you will behave in a storm. Test number 3. She observes how you speak about your ex. This one triggers men instantly. Most men have an opinion about their ex. Most men have strong language about their ex. Most men think speaking negatively about their ex makes them look strong. It does not. It makes them look unsafe. She is not asking about your ex to hear the truth about your ex. She is asking to hear the truth about you. A man who can speak about a past relationship with honesty, calm, accountability, and zero cruelty passes this test. A man who mocks, demeans, or blames everything on the other woman fails it instantly, and most women will not give you a second chance on this one. Why most men miss it? They think they're defending themselves. They are actually revealing themselves. Now here's the part I've been holding until the right moment. Test number 4 is the one that will catch you off guard because it's incredibly short, brutally simple, and almost every man fails it the first time. Test number 4. She creates a tiny moment of awkward silence and watches what you do. That's it. That's the whole thing. A pause, a beat, a small silence between topics, nothingness. What you do inside that silence is what she is actually measuring. Do you rush to fill it with noise? Do you get uncomfortable? Do you overtalk? Do you try to prove something? Or do you sit comfortably inside the silence, breathe, look at her, stay present, and let the moment exist without fear? Why men fail this one with brutal consistency? Men are trained socially to perform, fill gaps, prove value through chatter. Women are not measuring your words anymore. They are measuring your silence. Your ability to sit inside silence without panic tells her more about who you are than anything you've said in the last 3 conversations combined. Test number 5. She watches how you handle her saying no to a small thing. A woman will say no to something low stakes. She will say she doesn't want that particular restaurant. She will say she doesn't like that movie. She will say no to the small, safe request you made. And then she watches you. Do you push? Do you argue? Do you get subtly frustrated? Do you try to talk her out of it? Or do you accept the no gracefully, pivot smoothly, make her feel safe for having expressed it? Why most men miss this test completely. They don't think a no is a test. They think a no is just information. Women use small no's to measure how you handle the word no when stakes are low, because they need to know you can handle the word no when stakes are high. Test number 6. She studies how you respond to her success. This one is bold, and it's the boldest payoff on the entire list. A woman will tell you about something positive that happened in her life, a promotion, a win, a moment she is proud of. She will share it casually. Then she will study your reaction in the next 2 seconds. She is watching to see whether you shrink, compete, deflect, minimize, or pivot the conversation back to yourself, or whether you hold space for her win, acknowledge it plainly, and let her have the spotlight in that moment. The opposite of this is the man who cannot tolerate a woman shining brighter than him in any context. Why most men miss it. They confuse support with weakness. Genuine support of a woman's success is one of the strongest signals of deep male confidence a woman will ever witness. And most men have no idea they are being measured here. And here is something I have to interrupt the list to say. Pay close attention because the entire framework shifts from this point forward. Every test I've just named is not really about whether you pass or fail in that single moment. It's about whether you can see the test happening at all. Women are not trying to trap you. They are trying to find out if your awareness is sharp enough to notice what's happening inside your own interactions. The man who sees the test passes. The man who doesn't see the test doesn't stand a chance, no matter what he says next. Test number 7. She introduces a small amount of friction and watches if you hold your frame. This is the final test, and it's the most nuanced. She will say something slightly challenging. She will disagree with a small opinion of yours. She will tease you in a way that pushes a tiny nerve. She will introduce friction into the interaction gently, testing whether you fold, get defensive, get rattled, or hold your frame with calm clarity. Why most men miss this test. They've been conditioned to believe that disagreement equals conflict. It doesn't. Healthy disagreement in the early stages of a connection is actually a sign that the woman is comfortable enough with you to be honest. A man who can hold his frame while still respecting her perspective passes this test cleanly. A man who snaps, retreats, or abandons his position to please her fails it instantly. Hold your frame. Respect hers. Stay grounded. Now let me warn you about the biggest mistake men make after seeing this entire list. The mistake is trying to game these tests consciously. Don't turn these into manipulation tactics. Don't rehearse responses. Don't try to act calm when you are not calm. Women can detect performance from 1,000 miles away. The whole point of these tests is that they reveal your actual nervous system response in the moment. If you actually want to pass them, the work is internal. It is about becoming a man who is genuinely steady, genuinely honest, genuinely grounded, genuinely secure with himself, regardless of who is watching. That is the real lesson behind this entire video. The 7 tests are not a checklist to memorize. They are a mirror that shows you what kind of man you actually are. If you want to pass these tests, you don't study the tests, you study yourself. You build your self-awareness, your emotional regulation, your steadiness, your honesty, your capacity to hold space for another human being without making the moment about your own anxiety. That is the quiet work that creates a man who passes these tests without even knowing he's being tested. And now, before I close, let me reverse engineer the kind of quiet confidence that passes every single one of these tests automatically. Quiet confidence is not loud. It is not performed. It is not rehearsed. It is simply the state of a man who has done enough internal work that his behavior in front of others is consistent with his behavior when nobody is watching. That is it. That is the entire secret. Women can feel that consistency within minutes of meeting a man. It cannot be faked with technique. It can only be built through slow internal work. The man who has built that inner consistency will pass these 7 tests without effort. The man who hasn't will fail them no matter how many videos he watches. Let's recap everything one final time. Test 1. She watches how you treat someone who can do nothing for you. Test 2. She watches your emotional steadiness during a small crisis. Test 3. She observes how you speak about your ex. Test 4. She creates a small moment of silence and watches how you sit inside it. Test 5. She watches how you handle her saying no to something small. Test 6. She studies how you respond to her success. Test 7. She introduces gentle friction and watches if you hold your frame. These 7 tests are not optional. They are automatic. Every woman you will ever meet will run a version of these tests on you within the first few interactions. The man who understands them has an enormous advantage. The man who doesn't will keep wondering why women lose interest for reasons he cannot name. If this video shifted something in your understanding of how women actually evaluate men, do 3 things for me. Subscribe so you do not miss the next breakdown. Hit the bell so YouTube pushes these videos to you directly. And drop a comment below telling me which test you realized you have been failing in your own life without knowing it. I genuinely read every single comment. I'll see you on Tuesday with the next one. Stay sharp out there.